Have you played Monster Hunter World? Well, you should, because it's my favorite game ever. Here, let me lay it out for you.
Part 1. The gameplay.
Monster Hunter World is an action RPG, a genre popularized by the Dark Souls series, even though Monster Hunter came first. Unlike other games of the genre, Monster Hunter puts far more emphasis on the RPG part. While you do spend plenty of time fighting monsters, performing high-flying attacks, and feeling like an overall badass, you spend just as much time, if not more, preparing for these hunts. Each monster has its own weaknesses and resistances, with most monsters also wielding elemental damage or inflicting status effects. Sometimes both. It's your responsibility to plan ahead for all of these possibilities and make the corresponding weapons and armor, though in practice this isn't entirely necessary until you reach the late game. There are dozens of armor sets and hundreds of weapons for you to craft, all made from either materials you gather in the field or pieces you carve off of the monsters. I know, brutal. The basic gameplay loop is as follows. Craft gear so you can hunt monsters, so you can craft better gear so you can hunt stronger monsters. Repeat ad nauseum. This causes an endless cycle of gratification where you always feel like you're making progress, because you are. This is the only time I've ever seen a game successfully implement something akin to grinding without it becoming at all monotonous. There are 14 different weapons, each with their own unique playstyle. I would give a brief overview of each of them, but Joe Cat already did a far better job than I could with his series A Crap Guide to Monster Hunter World, so I'll just link the playlist in the description. Go check him out, he's hilarious.
Part 2. The story? Part 3.
Okay, fine, I'll talk about the story. The narrative is definitely the game's weakest point. The story is bad, the characters are bad, the voice acting is bad, it's all just bad. The worst part has got to be how it interrupts the gameplay. Occasionally you have these missions where you walk slowly alongside an NPC while they talk at you for several minutes. These are easily the worst quests in the game and spoil an otherwise flawless experience. There is one redeeming quality though. The game does an excellent job providing context to your fights. Almost every time you have to fight a monster, there is a story reason provided. World is the only Monster Hunter game to do this, and it helps make the world feel so much more alive. Other than that, yeah, the story is incredibly simple and very poorly told. If your primary reason to play a game is to envelop yourself in a gripping narrative, then this might not be the game for you.
Part 3. The presentation.
It's no exaggeration to say that Monster Hunter World is the single most beautiful game I have ever laid eyes on. I'm struggling to find words to describe just how gorgeous this game is. I mean, just look at this. The areas are dense and immersive, and the monsters have an incredible amount of detail, especially if you're playing on PC and download the high-resolution texture pack. Seriously, this game came out on the PS4 and it still looks better than any PS5 game. The music, while still excellent, isn't quite as breathtaking. Don't get me wrong, all the tracks are absolute bangers. They're just not completely game-changing like the visuals are.
Part 4. The ecology.
I know it seems weird to have an entire section on a part of the game that's usually just an afterthought, but the ecology of this world is by far my favorite part. The way the monsters interact with the environment and each other is truly incredible. They hunt, they sleep, they mark their territory. They even leave behind footprints that you can collect in order to gain more intel on the monster. Best of all, if two monsters are in the same area, they have a chance of fighting each other, allowing you to take advantage of the chaos to make a clean getaway. I also really like the monster roars. I wasn't sure where else to put this, but come on, just listen to these. Rating. It's no secret that I love this game. Hell, more than half of my streams on this channel are of Monster Hunter World alone. Therefore, it should be no surprise that I'm giving this game outstanding 9 out of 10. Sure, the story is subpar, but the rest of the game is so phenomenal that it makes up for it. This game goes on sale all the time, so go buy it. Plus, I have a feeling that the next Monster Hunter game is going to be announced very soon.